Jesus Saves said JD Vance for work for Thiel. You think JD's rogue? Rogue as in, no, JD Vance is awesome. He's going to be fine. Listen, you guys want to do the guilt by association thing. We could do that all day long. There's a difference between working for somebody, having ties with them, being close to them at some point, and then growing. JD Vance was a young man there. He's had time to grow. Okay. His judgment hasn't stayed there. There's no indication he's close to Thiel over the last 5 years at all. None. Zippo. There is plenty of indication that he went harder MAGA than almost everyone else after he saw who Trump was. In 2017, JD Vance, when he said the Trump is Hitler stuff, actually it wasn't 2017, it was 2016, I believe, or 2015 even. It was a while ago, almost a decade ago. He was 32 years old because he's my age. He's 42. 32 years old. Do you think as a 32-year-old, it's not hard to get caught up in a narrative? To be influenced by something out there? How many people at 32 have it all together? No, you live and you learn. And a lot of people very, very few people saw much in Trump when he first started running. They had to be shown. So, and by the way, Trump used to be a hardcore is strong. He used to be a Democrat. He used to be friends with the Clintons. You know what woke him up? What woke him up is seeing how disgusting they all were. The Epstein stuff woke up. It red-pilled Trump. And since then, he's been on a mission to destroy them. The timeline lines up exactly. So it's very possible to be red-pilled. Look at Marco Rubio. I do not get at all. And after what happened to Trump with 2020, him getting shot, the 4 years, all the nonstop attacks, do you really think Trump didn't vet the hell out of JD Vance? I mean, to think JD Vance is bad is you're calling Trump an idiot. That's what you're doing. You think you're smarter than Trump. How well has that played out for anybody else? You have to think what it means when you think these things. Okay. And a lot of the people after JD Vance, they've listened to Whitney Webb crap. They've listened to Nick Fuentes. They've gotten that in their heads. Peter Thiel. Listen, good or bad, Peter Thiel is not the devil operating everything behind the scenes. He's not. Palantir is not nearly as powerful as so many people think. It's just not happening. So, and everybody who's actually close to it knows that. What's up, Jordan? Good to see you, man. It's been a long time. MH says it lives to mind the files and now not so much. Well, they've really fallen off. Absolutely. Jesus says the JD did a 180 reserving judgment. That's fine. CA Human says Andy said he'd never talked personally with Trump when he said that stuff. That's right. Yeah. It completely. Yeah, listen, I'm a Christian. My entire faith and belief system is built upon redemption and the ability to change. So you can't be a Christian and not believe that people can change. It's impossible, especially when they have Jesus. It's impossible. You can't, if you say you believe in Jesus and you don't believe in change, you're not a Christian. You don't know what you actually say you believe. And so everybody's capable of change. But you got to bring receipts. You got to earn trust. And that's how you know when somebody's changed or not. JD Vance has completely earned my trust. I have zero doubts about JD. And you know what? If you go back 8 years, 10 years, and that's the only bad thing you can find on JD Vance, and ever since then he's batted 1,000. In my opinion, he has. I haven't seen one thing in 10 years JD Vance has done or said to make me worry about him. And I watch closer than almost anyone. I haven't heard anybody say it from behind the scenes. I haven't seen, there has been no leaks on it. There's been nothing ever leaked about JD Vance being bad. Ever. All there is a freaking stupid Whitney Webb part of her book where she writes 2 lines about JD Vance, about how he worked for Peter Thiel. Peter Thiel donated to his first Senate campaign, and clearly he is now, that is the proof that he is controlled by Peter Thiel and is there to usher in a technocracy. That is everything. Everything everybody's ever doubted about JD Vance comes from that right there, the Whitney Webb stuff. And it's very little with no evidence at all and no source. It's just her speculating. And everybody's taken it as gospel truth on JD Vance. And not only that, that's because it's been parroted ever since by people like Nick Fuentes, who have, deep followings for no good reason other than it's a bunch of simps, and incels who just, in a demasculinized world are angry at women and looking for somebody to blame. So they're going to blame women or the Jews or black people for their woes. And so they follow Nick Fuentes. That's it. And this narrative is spread because of Whitney Webb, and then people take that one quote of JD Vance 10 years ago saying that he feared that Trump could be like a Hitler. And that's it. That's all anybody has on JD Vance in the last decade. I'm sorry, but if you are in the public sphere all over the place, you are going to make mistakes. You are going to show signs of being a fraud. I mean, look how easy it is to break down Thomas Massie. There are signs. There are always signs. And no one, and I mean no one, can point anything to me against JD Vance in the last decade. Well, nobody goes a whole decade without slipping up. Not one thing. I'm still waiting. So if somebody can show me, I'll look, but I haven't seen anything. I've seen him pretty much batting 1,000. And the only people who can bat 1,000 are the true believers. The only people I've seen bat 1,000, they're the people I trust. Trump, JD Vance, Rubio in the last few years. There's several others. I could go down the list, but what's the point? But my point is like, well, Jesus saves. I mean, listen, I'll flat out tell you, I know I'm correct, but I'll leave open the fact that, there's a 2% chance I'm not on this. And what I'll ask you is for you to ask yourself where your doubts came from. Because if it came from Whitney Webb, you've been psyoped. If it came from a quote of 10 years ago and everything he's done since then has shown you otherwise, you got to ask yourself, why are you still holding on to that? And that's what I'd say about that. Like, why? I'm always open to changing my mind. I've changed my mind about several things over the years, and I always will with the evidence. But it has to be like, if I'm going to distrust somebody who's been so good, I got to see receipts, and there's just no receipts on Vance.